Hey everyone, welcome back to D&D Daily English. I'm Dan, and as always, I'm here with my co-host Daphne. Today, we're talking NBA playoffs, specifically the Los Angeles Lakers and their surprising run in the first round. Daphne, I have to say, as someone who's followed this league for a long time, this one caught me a little off guard.
Good morning, everyone. Yes, and even for those of us who don't follow basketball religiously, this story has quite a few interesting angles worth exploring. Team strategy, player development, and what it means to build a winning roster. So let's get into it, shall we?
Absolutely. So here's the setup. Before the playoffs started, a lot of Lakers fans were genuinely worried, and honestly, the concern made sense. The Lakers have incredible star power. We're talking Luka Dončić, LeBron James, and Austin Reeves. That's a top-tier trio in the entire league. But the issue was the supporting cast, the bench, the role players. Were they good enough?
And that's a fair concern. In basketball, having 2 or 3 elite players is not always sufficient. You need what's called bench depth, meaning the players who come off the bench or the role players in the starting lineup also need to contribute meaningfully. The Lakers had spent their offseason trying to address exactly that weakness.
Right, and the moves they made were kind of a mixed bag, at least on paper. They brought in Jake LaRavia, decent shooter, good at connecting plays on the wing, but struggled defensively. Then there's Marcus Smart, a tough, experienced veteran who plays great on-ball defense. His career three-point percentage sits around 32.4%, which is solid but not elite. And then Deandre Ayton, talented big man, lots of offensive potential, but sometimes looked a little too relaxed on the defensive end.
So, the pieces were there, but the question was whether they would actually function together as a coherent unit. Chemistry is the word people often use here. That natural ability for teammates to read each other, to trust each other under pressure. And that kind of thing can't simply be purchased or predicted.
Exactly. And then there was the trade deadline move, swapping out Gabe Vincent for Luke Kennard. At the time, some people shrugged it off, but looking back now, that trade was a straight-up win. Kennard ended up being the story of the first round. He stepped into the starting lineup when Dončić was out injured, and in Game 1 against the Houston Rockets, he went off for 27 points on just 13 shot attempts. Super efficient. Then, in Game 2, he followed it up with 23 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 3 steals. That's not just shooting, that's an all-around performance.
It really is a testament to being ready when your opportunity arrives. Kennard had been a reliable but relatively low-profile player for much of his career. The phrase "step up" is very fitting here. When the team needed him most, he rose to the occasion. That's the kind of player a championship contender absolutely needs.
And it wasn't just Kennard. The whole team kind of came alive. DeAndre Ayton was steady throughout the series. His defense wasn't at an elite level, let's be honest about that, but it was more than enough to handle Houston's big men. And when you pair him with Jackson Hayes, those two Los Angeles bigs basically shut down everything within 8 feet of the basket for the Rockets. That's huge.
Yes, interior defense, that's protecting the area close to the basket, can often be the deciding factor in a playoff series. Teams that can't score near the rim are forced to rely on outside shooting, which is far less consistent under pressure. The Lakers managed to take that option away from Houston, which is quite a tactically significant achievement.
And Marcus Smart, man, he was dialed in. Not only was he knocking down outside shots to keep the defense honest, but he was controlling the offensive rhythm for the Lakers. And then in Game 2, when Houston tried to build some momentum through Kevin Durant, Smart just shut that down completely. It reminded everyone that Smart's impact on the floor goes way beyond scoring. Even without the ball in his hands, the guy changes the game.
That's what experienced veterans bring to a team. Smart has been in the league long enough to understand positioning, to read offensive patterns before they develop. His contribution is the kind that doesn't always show up clearly in the statistics, but is absolutely felt by everyone on the court.
Now, I have to talk about LeBron for a second. The man is 41 years old. 41! I've been watching him play for about 20 years now, and it kind of feels like he's been aging alongside me, except I keep getting slower and he just keeps getting stronger. It's honestly impressive in a way that's almost hard to put into words. As long as the role players around him are shooting well and playing with defensive intensity and togetherness, LeBron still has the ability to be the engine that drives this offense.
It is rather remarkable. Athletic longevity at that level is extraordinarily rare. Most professional athletes see a significant decline in their early 30s. LeBron, operating at a high level at 41, is statistically speaking almost anomalous. Whatever his training and recovery regimen looks like, it deserves a fair amount of respect.
So, where does this leave the Lakers going forward? Well, Dončić is still out. There's no confirmed return date yet. That's a major piece missing. But here's the thing. The Lakers have now shown they can win without him. They've found a formula that works. Their biggest weakness before the playoffs, the lack of shooters and role player depth, has quietly become one of their biggest strengths.
Although one should be cautious about projecting too far ahead, the Oklahoma City Thunder will be a considerably more difficult opponent. They are a well-constructed, disciplined team, and the Lakers will need to maintain this level of collective performance, not just rely on individual brilliance, to have a genuine chance.
Oh, absolutely. The Thunder are no joke. That's going to be a tough series. But at the very least, the Lakers have proven something important. They're not just a paper contender. They're a real threat, and that matters. All right, before we wrap up, let's quickly go through today's vocabulary. We covered quite a few useful words today.
Yes, let's highlight a few key ones. First, bench depth. This means the quality of players a team has beyond its starters. Second, step up, to perform better or take on more responsibility when it's needed. And third, contender, a team with a real chance of winning the championship. These are great phrases not just for sports, but for talking about teams, competition, and performance in many professional contexts.
Great breakdown, Daphne. And for our listeners, whether you follow basketball or not, today's story is really about team dynamics, preparation, and how the right pieces coming together at the right time can completely change outcomes. That applies to a lot more than just sports. All right, that's a wrap for today's episode of D&D Daily English. Thanks for listening, everyone. Keep practicing, and we'll catch you next time.
Thank you for joining us. Do keep at it. Consistent practice truly does make a difference. Until next time, cheerio!